So, hello everyone, Anna Zaltescu here. Welcome to Elevate Yourself podcast. In today's episode, we have Jacqlyn Burnett, the girl who is empowering the masses to live their best life. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me. I love what you're doing too. This is so beautiful to be able to connect with like-minded individuals who are genuinely trying to raise the consciousness of women and men and everyone. I think it's so awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think nowadays we have to become leaders in our communities and inspire others to be better. So anything that we can do to help, it's amazing.
Absolutely. We all get the opportunity to be our best version of ourselves, and we have the decision every single day of how we want to react to things. So I think it's super important to just be aware of yourself and to notice what's lifting you, what's bringing you down, and it's a beautiful thing. We get to have the responsibility to impact everyone, not just ourselves.
Exactly. So the reason I brought you here, Jacqlyn, is because I think you are already empowering the next generation of entrepreneurs, and I really think that people from Romania need your guidance and hear an inspiring story. So yeah, how can we inspire more young entrepreneurs than to bring successful women on the show?
Yes, it starts with loving yourself and taking check of your values and beliefs and knowing what you stand for. Because if you go through life uncertain, which is totally okay because we're all work in progress. I'm still figuring it out myself. But if we genuinely are convicted that we will and we are living our truest self, as you know, truth vibrates the fastest. So when we live our truth, we genuinely are going to be able to impact way more people's lives, manifest on a whole nother level, and genuinely show up. We don't just show up for ourselves. When you understand that when you walk into a room, when you are posting on social media, when you are engaging with anyone, you're not just showing up for yourself, but you're showing up for all the people that you interact with. And once you realize that, you know you have so much power. We have so much power within ourselves that just being able to be aware of that will give you that confidence and will give you that certainty of just going on with your trajectory of living to your true potential.
Wow, amazing. You just jumped right in.
Yeah, come on.
Love it. But
yeah, go on, I'm sorry.
No, go.
Well, I was going to say, one of the best practices you can do too is just just reminding yourself everything that's good in your life. If you can take check of everything that you're grateful for, everything after that just becomes a reaction. So what I do is I wake up every single morning, and I do this. Sometimes I even do it with Casey because we talk a lot, but it's just reminding yourself, what are you grateful for in that moment? Because when you are on center and when you're in flow and when you're vibrating high, everything else becomes illusions. All the voids, obstacles, and shortages, they really do become illusions. When you're in that flow zone, anything, you can just tackle anything. It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. But let's get back a little bit on your story and actually how you become so confident and positive, and tell us what are you doing, what are you working on, where are you coming from, and where this positivity comes from.
Yes. So I think that it's all about your environment, and your circumstances don't define you, but you define your circumstances based upon how you perceive them. So at a very young age, I'm very grateful to have had parents, still do, that empower me beyond belief. Words are very, very impactful. Words have data in them. Those data carries a chemical message in our body, and depending how we receive them will depend on how our state of being can be. So, ever since a young age, my dad would be like, you're an asset to the planet, you're beautiful, you're whatever it might be. And even if it weren't for him, keeping awareness of what you allow into your life will help motivate you and inspire you. So from a very young age, I had that in my head, and therefore I started saying that to myself as well. affirmations are very important. And I'm from Michigan initially. So I went from graduating from Michigan State University, moving to California, and I started working for my cousin David Meltzer. Now he's a thought leader as well, and he's very into spirituality, and he's a large CEO of a company and has amassed so many accomplishments. And so I really was introduced there to the spiritual side, not like the woo-woo spiritual side, but the just taking count for, gratitude, accountability, empathy, effective communication, and the spiritual side of that. I love this book. It's right in front of me, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. This is a book that I really vibe with. Yeah. And so he actually talks about a lot of these practices as well. And so that same idea of seed, nourish, flourish, we want to plant the right seeds so we can we want to nourish those seeds. We can watch them flourish. That same idea, that is how I've been growing. I've been planting seeds ever since I was little. I've been nourishing those seeds. I've been nourishing who I am, my values, my beliefs, my soul, and I'm flourishing in real time. So I went from, working for my cousin David Meltzer in the sales world, business development, and I wanted to get a little bit more involved in the entertainment side. So I ended up working for the youngest founder of a public traded company, Dan Fleischman, and I was able to work under him, learning on how an angel investor works. I was in the social media realm. So these opportunities and these experiences I was seeing has really just widened my perspective of how I'm seeing the world and how I can contribute to the world. So I got to spin off my own marketing arms and created my own agency. And I've gone into e-commerce, digital, I have my own digital agency as well. And I'm now, I'm inspired during this quarantine time, making the most of it. And I'm also writing a book about all of my best practices on how to optimize your opportunity zone inside and outside, because it's super important to, like I said, seed, nourish, flourish. You want to plant the right seeds everywhere and nourish those seeds everywhere so you can be your best self and flourish into whatever your favorite bouquet of flowers are.
I love it. Wow. That's so amazing that you have like this high energy, especially in these hard times. And actually, I want to touch on that because it's so easy to be positive when everything goes well. It's just your life is so cool. You go out with friends, go and party and all that stuff, and just business going well. But what do you do and how to approach life when things are like this in Corona, when we have to stay inside and we have a different environment, actually?
Yeah. So in relation to that, the most important thing you can do is, again, remind yourself what is going good in your life. So remind yourself what's going good in your life. Oh, are we good on audio?
I think it's blocking. I don't know why.
Can you hear me?
Like the internet right now, but I didn't hear anything before.
Okay, I'll begin. So you asked what to do in times of uncertainty like this, when there's tragic things going on in this world. So One of the most important things that you can do is remind yourself of what is going good in your life. Take this time and look for the opportunities. Look for the light, love, and lessons and everything that's going on. So right now, for example, I'm in e-commerce. I sell things on Amazon. They're not allowing new shipments to the Amazon facility. Now that affects my business, right? So luckily, I'm selling things that are, rescue guard and essential items. The only thing that Amazon's accepting right now are the essential items. So luckily, I have items on there that, we're already still in the facility center. But the way I'm looking at it is, okay, while I'm not fulfilling, adding more things to Amazon, why not go ahead and take this time to write the book that I've been wanting to write? Why not take this time to reach out to people, to connect with people, see how I can bring the value to them? Because that's going to make a long-term impact. When you can go in the depths with people, that's really when you can create a long-term relationship, impact, and value to this world. And even in relation to that, when it's hard to see the opportunity, when it's hard to look at the good side, don't just try and make something up. Allow yourself to be in those emotions. when you are in a traumatic, now let's go back to how the body looks at traumatic things, right? Because I study mind, body, soul, the energy in the body, the chemical makeup of the body. So let's go back really quick to a biological standpoint. When your body perceives something as traumatic, back in evolution, when humans were going through evolution, it was natural for a human to be perceived as going through a threat, right? We're hunting, we're gathering. So when that would happen, our body would release a lot of cortisone and adrenaline to help us stay in like just one focus, right? So genuinely, when we're doing that, it's hard to look at anything else, and we don't want our body to always remain in that threat. So the first thing you want to do when you are in that depressed or whatever state you're in, allow yourself to be in that emotion. Allow yourself to feel it. Have it move through you, and observe yourself in third person. If you can observe yourself in third person, you'll be able to notice, okay, why am I feeling this way? Like, let me embrace it. Let me honor that emotion, and let it move through me. And let me remind myself, things are going to be better because we get to make it that way. Our now, we only have one now, we only get to experience one moment, is defined by our past emotions, experiences, and actions. So if we know that we are controlling of the now, we should be grateful for it because we know we can change it. So allow yourself, when in those negative times, to just honor it and just be with it, and then look for the good, because there always is great. There's always great. We get to live, we get to breathe, we get to create opportunities. Where there is uncertainty, there is new. That's one of the key things that people miss. Be grateful for the fear and uncertainty that you might feel, because within that you get to grow and you get to create something that's new.
Yeah, and on that, actually, on feeling like the emotions in your body, for me especially, is like I feel the fear in my stomach, and like in sometimes maybe when I'm prepared to speak in the public or something like that. What do you do then when you feel the fear, but you can't do anything about it?
Yeah.
Like from
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I remember my first speaking engagement, I was like, okay, here we go.
Exactly.
So when you're speaking on stage, or whenever you have that weird feeling, data is what helps. Data and knowledge and being certain of yourself is what can help relieve that. So when you're just your most authentic, and let's say you are going to go on stage, if you know what you're going to talk about, it genuinely is going to help you remove that fear. Let's bring that to another situation though. Let's say you are, you have a new job, you have an interview, or you are about to start your new role. Just be honest, don't act like you know it all. Just be super upfront. Hey, I don't know this. Can you help me? Because more than likely, you're going to get to learn you're going to get to learn something new. You're going to achieve something that you didn't know you could actually do. And you're going to just share that transparency, which is going to let the other person know, wow, like I relate. I relate to this person, and they're teaching me something through just being their truest self. So I would say with that emotion, and sometimes too, like, do you ever get that feeling? It's like you had that like gut feeling, and then you go on stage and you speak and you get off and you're like, wow, like that was awesome,
Exactly. It was so fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. Or you might feel like, okay, now I know what I need to improve on.
Exactly.
And that's great. Both of those things are great. Notice I looked for the light lessons and everything that was just perceived, right?
Yeah, but it's more important to take action and to feel the fear, and then to see what you can do better than just being stuck.
Yeah. If you're not improving, you're going down. Nothing ever stays the same. You're either improving or you're not improving.
Exactly. Yeah, and on confidence and on fears, I want to ask you something. I see lots of girls, like right now I'm running this program that want to empower the girls to like live their best life, and they mostly have that feeling of I'm not feeling good enough, or I'm not like doing enough. I have so many fears that are keeping me stuck. What are you recommending for them?
So for someone that's saying I'm not doing enough, however they might be feeling, if they feel like they're not good enough, the way you can look at life, you can look at life as life happening to you, life happening
Mm-hmm.
for you or life happening through you. I choose
Okay.
to look at life happening through me. What do I mean by that? When things are happening in general, like I mentioned, I look for the light, love, and lessons and everything. And when we do that, we're allowing ourselves to look for what can we learn from this experience. So if we're feeling that
Mm-hmm.
way, I'm going to use one of my favorite quotes here. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Okay.
So in that moment, if you're feeling like I'm not doing enough, take a step back and say, well, how can I do more? What is fulfilling me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
re-ask that question. Like, why do I feel that way? Like
Yeah.
re-ask yourself that question, and then take the time and say, like, what is fulfilling me? Go back to your values and beliefs, and what's going to keep you on that mission? What's going to keep you on that trajectory of what we do want? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a challenge, but it's a rewarding challenge because you'll get to grow and learn through it. So when you view
Mm-hmm.
your life as happening through you, you're not only just doing things for yourself, but you're getting to inspire others along the way, which is really cool.
Exactly. And on that, I want to ask you, like, what can the girls do on a daily basis, like practicing, to become more confident? Because,
Mm.
like, it's easy to just listen to something motivational and then say, yeah, I'm gonna be so confident after that. But no, it's about the practices. What would you
Totally.
recommend?
It's totally, yeah. And like the word that you just used is super important. Practice.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a speaker, if you want to get better at Facebook ads, whatever you want to become more confident, if you want to be more confident in showing up, guess what? Just start. Allow that fear to fulfill you. Allow that uncertainty to drive you. I know we're in quarantine right now. A lot of the world is in quarantine, and one of the things that you can do to practice is just by doing it, whether that's speaking and just recording yourself, whether that's just trying it out,
Mm-hmm.
putting $5 towards a Facebook ad, seeing what works. But in
Mm-hmm.
actually creating those beliefs and certainty within yourself, the best thing you can do is literally remind yourself what you love in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first step. I know it sounds kind of silly, but I genuinely believe that's helped me get to where I am. From a young age, I've been telling myself this too. It's like I am powerful, I am smart, I am confident, and just saying those words. Like, did you notice how I smiled a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Exactly. You feel it.
yeah, I feel it. And allow yourself to, when you say these things to yourself, when you have these affirmations, when you remind yourself, say it out loud and say it with a smile. When we smile, we're tricking the brain to happiness. So
Mm-hmm.
we're releasing more serotonin. So it's
Okay.
not about just what you say, but it's about how you say it. Genuinely convict yourself, like, I am powerful. Like, I am
Mm-hmm.
certain. I am joy. You know, those things really help. Start your morning every morning with that. And if not even that, sometimes we wake up and we're super tired. Just lay in your bed, close your eyes, and remind yourself all the things that you're grateful for during that
Mm-hmm.
moment. When you wake up, you only get one action to start the day with. Everything else is a reaction to that action you took to start your day. So I do this every single morning, and I have been for a couple of years now. Probably I have been subconsciously for even long before that. But when we start our morning with something that brings us our joy, brings us to center, anything after that is going to be a reaction. It's going to be, are we off? Are we back on center? And when you feel
Mm-hmm.
off, remind yourself of that action, and it will actually bring you back to that state of certainty and joy. And I think that's something that can really help. I would
Mm-hmm.
say as well, because there's a lot more to it, right? Like, I can say that, but it's a work in progress. It doesn't just
Mm-hmm.
happen right away. So be patient
Yeah.
with yourself. Be patient. Allow yourself to just breathe. If you're not feeling at your best, just even breathe. One of the best things that I've learned at a young age: 3 words: cancel, clear, and connect. Whenever you have a negative thought, say out loud, cancel. Cancel that thought, cancel that emotion,
Hmm.
whatever you're feeling. Say clear, clear that emotion, that connection that you had to that negative thought or belief. Then we say connect. Connect with that center that you felt when you first woke up in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. That is
Yeah. Yeah.
that's one of the ways just to get yourself back to center, help you build that confidence and that certainty within yourself.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I think those are like so unique practices because it makes you like feel you're the creator of your own life and you have control over everything. And on that, I think we can move on more on spirituality and like law of attraction, and what does that mean to you, because I think it kind of relates
Woo!
to that.
I love this.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this. So let's talk about the quantum world for a second. And I know you know
Hmm.
about it. So quantum physics, we're
Yeah.
all made up of subatomic particles. Therefore, we are all one. If this chair and my body, we're literally all subatomic particles. We are all one. We are literally like waves. So we're all interconnecting waves. So now when we
Hmm.
talk about manifestation, a lot of people look at manifestation as sitting high on your mom's couch and wishing for a Ferrari and a Ferrari shows up. No, that is not going to get you, that's not manifestation. Manifestation is the desire, intention, and belief in the action that takes to get there. When you're so convicted on your thoughts, guess what? Your thoughts are waves. You are going to be aligning with other like particles who are going to be interacting with you. I have been manifesting, and I say manifesting because it's true. Like no
Hmm.
other. Like my thoughts, like even just in, like I'll write them down too, just so I have a little manifestation journal in my
Okay.
phone, just because I like to write things down when I notice things. Like it creates more manifestation for me. But
Hmm.
it's genuinely just being convicted on what you're doing and being certain and knowing your beliefs. Like you got this. It's like
Hmm.
I know I'm convicted that I'm gonna write a best-selling book, and guess what? Because I'm so convicted on that, I am going to do what it takes to get there. Like it takes
Hmm.
the action, and you'll get there so much faster just by having that conviction, because you're going to create those conviction waves, if I
Hmm.
might say it,
Hmm.
within yourself that are going to
Exactly.
attract like waves, and that's going to be
Yeah.
very visually represented.
Yeah, I guess I think that it's so important like to have those daily also practices of manifestation and to actually feel that you're already there, because I'm pretty sure you already feel you have like a best-selling book. You're already there. And it's just a matter of time and effort to just be there. That's all.
Exactly. Everything is all happening at the same time. It's just the time it takes to get there. Thought
Mhm.
thought is what gives us the understanding of the relativity of time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everything can be remembered. We can look forward to the future, but we can only live in the now. So be grateful
Yeah.
for the now.
Exactly, exactly. But on the manifestation part, you said that you have like a manifesting journal. And what else do you do to manifest your perfect life?
Ooh, I love this. Okay, so couple things. One of them I already went over, which was reminding myself every morning what I'm grateful for. And by
Mm-hmm.
the way, I do this every night too. It's not something I just tried to remind myself to do. I genuinely enjoy reminding myself like what I'm grateful for, and I do this throughout the day. Like I'm grateful that I'm here at my cousin's right now, and I'm not in West
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood in an apartment. Like there's just so many things to be grateful for. I'm grateful to be
Mm-hmm.
here with you, sharing stories and inspiring others. So that's one of the things that I would say helps, you know, be in that zone. Another thing that I do is I write down my dreams. I have
Mm-hmm.
really vivid dreams. And why do I do this? So when I wake up, write down either my dreams or my what I'm grateful for, depending on what I can remember, what comes to my mind first. And when we're in our subconscious state, like when we are in delta, when we are dreaming, there's things that are either we're living in a different zone, of course, but there's always things to be reflected on in our dreams. So it's just cool to be aware of that, because that can help us share stories of what's really going on inside, whether that was, the day prior or what's to come, things that we should be looking out for. So that's another practice. And then another thing that I love to do is write down 5 quantum events every day.
What's
So
that?
what is that? Yeah, what is that? So this could be
Mm-hmm.
anything that I want to achieve, anything that I want to come to fruition, and I just write them down. How big or small they might be doesn't matter. The whole
Mm-hmm.
idea of it is I'm materializing my thoughts. Whatever thoughts I have, I'm literally writing them down, materializing them, and that's also creating more energetic creativity within inside of
Mm-hmm.
me. So once I write them
Yeah.
down, I'm like, oh wait, what about this? Like it's starting my day with creativity. It's starting my day with joy. and things that I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate. So as I move throughout the day, I'm
Yeah.
literally just so much more convicted of what's going on, and it's a good time. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's how I've remained to be so positive because I make
Mm-hmm.
life fun. Like life is all about joy, and there's circumstances. But I don't want to come off because there's a lot of people who are going through life and they're like, this sucks. Like I hate this. But guess what? Like I've
Mm-hmm.
had my down moments too. Like I was super bullied when I was a kid, like insanely bullied. Like if you heard these stories, you'd be like, dang, like I really feel bad for this kid. Like something like it's just having to overcome a lot of the things that I went through definitely have built me to where I am. So that's why it's like just be grateful for where you are no matter what's going on
Mm-hmm.
because this too shall pass if you create that passing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And like I think so many like people maybe in high school actually are bullied right now, and they feel like so less confident because of their colleagues. And how did you overcome that? Because I
Yeah,
also felt that when I was little, but when you are like in high school or in college, you don't know how to respond to that.
yeah. I would say it's cool because I had awareness at a young age of these girls are bullying me, and it really it I think my parents felt it more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from like you should die, where the whole school would like sign a letter and put it in my locker, or like I missed the bus one day, and the girls, my dad drove me to school, and my dad was behind the bus, and the girls put a letter on the back of the bus so it could read. It said, "You're a loser, like go home." Like who does that?
Really?
And then my dad saw it and he's like, I'm gonna do something about this. Or I get invited to sleepovers and instead of like they'd put weird things in my hair when I was asleep, like just weird things. But I believe that those so when I was going through those moments, of course it sucked at the time, right? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on? But I also looked at it as this. I think my soul definitely had a higher level of perceiving that emotion, that experience, because I didn't necessarily like I wasn't super down crying on it. I was like, what is this showing me about myself? What is this teaching
Mm-hmm.
me?
Yeah.
I was like in the cool group, but I was also friends with everyone. And the cool group happened to pick on me, but not everyone. It was just a very weird environment. So I was like, what am I here to like? What am I here to learn? And why would I care about someone who's vibrating genuinely at a lower level than I am? If you can
Mm-hmm.
understand that joy and truth genuinely vibrate the fastest. If you're in high school, if you're in college and you're getting bullied, just remember that this is gonna build you. This is genuinely gonna grow you. If you can look at them and say, okay, what they're doing is a reflection of who they are. I get to learn through this. I get to learn that the people who are bullying me, this is their problem, not mine. I don't need to feed into this. Of course, negative words hurt. We've all have you that experiment of like the two flowers, one flower, the students told the flower like you are beautiful, you are gorgeous. And they told the other flower like you are dumb, you are crap, all that negative stuff. And the flower that was given negative emotions actually started dying faster. The
Mm-hmm.
flower that was given positive affirmations kept living and didn't even need as much water. So that same thing, if you can allow, like if you're getting put down every day, of course that's gonna wear on you. But if you can remind yourself how beautiful you are and how great you are, it's
Mm-hmm.
if you also can know that it's more unlikely to be given a life is like one in a million. It really is like how many different
Exactly.
cells and what it is to actually create a human. Like yes, absolutely. Like you are given a gift. You are here for a purpose. If you can remind yourself of that every single day, you will operate on a higher level. And therefore those lower vibrating things, they're gonna trickle away. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
That totally happened for me. I was bullied for like maybe 15 years of my life, and I love who I am. Like I've always loved who I am. And that was the main underlying barrier of why I am who I am today and why I have so much
Mm-hmm.
joy and confidence.
Yeah, I love that. And I wanted to add the fact that I really believe that people that are going through the most difficult times are actually meant for so much more than they can actually like think. Because it's what I saw in myself and in other like successful entrepreneurs, the ones that have the most painful story and turned it into their advantage are the ones that had the most success and after a powerful and inspiring story.
Yeah. And I also want to note too, like, I do know a lot of high level entrepreneurs and CEOs who have gone through the trenches. You know, they had a really bad childhood or whatever that might be. But I also know a lot of them who didn't necessarily have the worst life, right? Like they were grateful to have a family, a mom and dad, and
Yeah.
but everyone, it's all relative.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't necessarily need to go through the deepest of deep, darkest moments to come out at the opposite polarity. You're able to also remind yourself you can learn through others by reading, by having conversations, and just by looking at the glass half full and looking how you can inspire and teach others. Because like I mentioned earlier, you don't just show up for yourself, you show up for every single person that you get to be around. And if you can remind yourself about that, even you bullies, if anyone's listening, or not the opposite, remember, you're not just showing up for yourself. You get to impact the lives of so many people. We're all planting seeds. We're all nourishing those seeds. We all get to flourish. So let's help each other flourish so we can all inspire and grow together as a collective.
Love that. And if you're like in the high school student kind of part, let's go into the business. And please tell me what do you think someone in high school should do that maybe doesn't know what path to choose, or maybe is even a student. It's like, oh, I don't know what my mission is, what my purpose is. I have so many passions, maybe, but they don't know what to do with that.
That's beautiful.
What should they? Yeah.
Just keep doing what you love. When I was in high school, I did not know what I wanted to. I thought maybe I wanted to be a journalism major and I wanted to go to be a journalist. I thought I maybe wanted to be a professional artist. I wanted to be an interior designer. Allow yourself to enjoy and kind of just create, and allow yourself to, being in high school, you're still very young. So you're, and even no matter what age you are, allow yourself to go into different verticals. Allow yourself to pivot. It's okay. Like, I'm still figuring it out. At one point, I was doing art more full time than I wasn't, and I still had the agency, but I was really focused on art as well. And I have allowed myself, I think the reason why I am so joyful is because I've allowed myself to really dive into, like, who am I? What do I enjoy doing? And how I can bring value to others. If you are also looking for that, the business part will come really easily. Because you can look to how you're going to bring value to others. How can I be of service? It's that law of giving and receiving.
Yeah.
When you can give, you also need to allow yourself to receive. You keep that circulation going. It gets bigger and bigger. The business side will come. And I just remember in high school, I was really focused on art. And I was very focused on just when I eventually did go to college, I tried a little bit of everything. I was doing acting. I was a journalism major, communications major, and I was in a sorority. I was just doing everything that I could. And even after college, I still allowed myself to dive into different verticals, all within kind of the entertainment realm, but I allowed myself to pivot. And all of those things, all those experiences have brought me here now. And I think it's just super important. And if you do know what you want to do, if you do have that driving passion and you want to go into sports, you want to, whatever that is, just start doing it. Like, start diving into it. Maybe create your own website, your own blog, your own start talking to people in the industry, start a podcast, like start talking to people and gather more information, gather more data so you can be more certain with a path that you might want to go on.
Love that. But if they if someone has an idea of a business to say, but they don't have a network, they don't know what to do, where to start, what should they focus on in the beginning, because it's so much into building a business, but in the start.
For sure. Mentors are huge. And if you don't have the network or the internal relationships to just say, hey, a close friend of mine who's made $100 million, how do I make $100 million? Not we don't always have that. Okay, that's a building. It's a building block. Start with books. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't look at books. Have all like so many gems and secrets in there. So pick up a book if you want to learn how to make $100 million. Read a book from an author who's made $100 million. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to learn about sports, pick up a book who someone's been in the sports world and they've
Yeah.
wrote a best-selling book. Another thing too is use social media. Look for
But
people
on
on
the book,
social media.
what business book would you recommend to say on
Oh,
that?
there's well, so I've been diving into Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That's about negotiation. I love that book. The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, one of my favorites. Happy Pocket Full of Money. I've read that book a couple times. Highly recommend
Okay.
A Happy Pocket Full of Money. That one doesn't just go into the business side or making money side, but it goes into understanding the actual quantum realm of money as well. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking to create something, it kind of gives you that foundation, that underlying foundation of what it takes to build. Connected to Goodness by David Meltzer, my cousin. He talks about all the lights and lessons and everything that he's learned along the way through being, the CEO of Lee Steinberg Sports Entertainment. The movie Jerry Maguire was based off of him. To running his own agency, having assets of $100 million. Like there's so many gems in books. And if you have any questions too, if anyone's listening and you guys are curious more about some of my favorites, I'm more than happy to share you with my list.
Mm-hmm.
I have on my bio and my Instagram my favorite Amazon purchases. So I put a lot of my
Okay.
books in there. Some
Cool.
of my favorite purchases besides books. But go to social media and just ask for help. That's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing. Communication's huge. Communication's the way that we all connect. So don't be afraid to speak up. The worst thing that happens is they don't read it. That's it. Or the worst thing that happens is they say, here, I have someone else. But don't look at it like that. Like, go on with the intention and just say, how many people can I reach out to you today that
Mm-hmm.
can help me? And then also the same amount of people, ask that same number of people, how many people can I help? Because you're creating that void. Like it's in the seven spiritual laws of success, it talks about the law of giving and receiving. So when you actually ask for help, you are creating that void. When you give help, like you are also creating that void. So move on with that, and that too should help you kind of jumpstart into the business realm.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Love that. I think that's so important because you bring like the spirituality part into the business part, and it's so important. But if you, as I see that you went like a little bit in the social media part, what how can like your personal brand and your social media presence help you so far in the business? Because especially in Romania, there are so many like inspiring people that just don't post anything and just don't see the
Mm,
value of building a personal brand. And it's so frustrating to see that there's so little people here that are actually empowering. So what would you
yeah.
recommend?
So especially right now, as we're all quarantined, we all have a digital presence, a digital assets that we can create for ourselves. So represent who you are, your mission, and provide value through social media, because we all have the opportunity to create something for ourselves in the digital world as much as we do off of the digital world. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
important to connect with those there as well. So it's all about just what is your mission? What are you certain about? What are your values and beliefs, and represent that online. And even if you don't really know where to start, just create what you believe in. Like just start somewhere, even if no one sees it. Just start. It starts with just posting. It starts with step one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And like finding your own voice actually, because like when you're in as a student, maybe you don't know that much. You're still learning, and you don't know what to post about. It's weird because you don't want to like feel, I don't know, like people judging you, and you just stop doing
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, and we're all human. That's everyone's gonna feel like, okay, are we being judged? Like that's that's totally normal and that's okay. But it's also okay to have that humility where, you know what, maybe I do post something and I don't really know if anyone's gonna like it. That's all right,
Mm-hmm.
because this isn't. really funny. This is for you. Remind yourself that what you're going to post is for you. And as you
Mm-hmm.
live to your most authentic self, people who are like-minded like that will they'll vibe with it. They'll come and check you out, and they might interact with you. And if not, that's also okay. But it really just like I've pivoted so many times on social media. My when I first got started on social media, I was doing more acting and modeling and kind of somewhat of the happiness, but not as much as I'm
Mm-hmm.
really doing now. And then I also went into more of the art side, art and happiness. And now my Instagram actually got deleted, and it was a kind of like a blessing because I was able to just totally rebrand myself and start fresh. And I got to rethink, okay,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
how do I perceive myself, and how do I want others to perceive me? Let me align those two things and move forward with that. At a higher level as well, one of my business partner, Melissa Rodriguez, she has an Empower Her event. I'll connect you with her as well. So she's a super boss babe. We had an exercise where we had the whole team exchange our social media accounts, so just exchange our phone with complete strangers, right? Someone who we really don't connect
Mm-hmm.
with. And the first step was, what do you think? Like, what is my message, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
30 seconds later, after that was done, we would tell them, okay, this is my message. Did those two things align? So that's a fun exercise to kind of third person with yourself, if you can, like, what do I think this message would say to someone? So just make sure you're aligning those two things and have fun with it. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I also think that it's important to be like authentic, and you hear that a lot of times, and you said it too. But what this authenticity means, like in social media, when everything is like with filters and like crafting a perfect life, and you don't know how to be authentic and vulnerable, actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Just like I said, remind yourself of your values and beliefs. That is when you
Mm-hmm.
are vibrating, when you are genuinely living your most authentic self, all else is going to align. So what I believe when I like right now, like we're being our most authentic true self. We're just speaking from experiences. Like don't try and make up anything. Don't try and be someone who you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Be who you are right now and grow with that. If you're growing every single
Yeah.
day, you'll keep evolving and you'll keep expanding. So in regards with social media, just align and just be who you are. Like don't be afraid to like speak on what you do know, not on what you don't know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Post things that
Yeah.
you think, if you have your mission is to empower others, or if your mission is to be in the sports world or to be in the fashion industry, post things that align with that brand because we're all our own brand. We're all our own personality brand, whether we like it or
Yeah.
not. We're in a digital age, so it's important to see our social media tool can be used such for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. But on that, like it's so important to just put ourselves out there and just speak our truth. But when you are like in the beginning stages of the business and you're just trying to grow it and finding ways to make more money to sustain it, you don't actually find value in the beginning of just posting, and you're just focused on money maybe, like in the beginning. So, like, how can people be sure, or in what time can you monetize a personal brand? This is a question I get very often.
Mm, that's so. I I haven't necessarily right like monetized my social media as, oh, I'll pay, I want to pay you for posting. That's not kind of what I'm about. I'm about just putting out messages that can inspire and empower others. But when it relates to business, your business can also send a message and know that there's so many free ways to get exposure in business that can monetize, right? Like with my business
Mm-hmm.
social media, um, that's just another route, an outlet for people to recognize and learn, who I am, what my agency is, and kind of what I'm doing. So it's all a process. I mean, we see in businesses now that there are the social media managers and everything else. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of have to play every single role when you're first getting started and enjoy the process of it because you get to create it. It's a fun experience once you really learn to
Mm-hmm.
love the process of it.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And I think that you just mix like so many different parts, like digital marketing and art and business and empowering. Like, how do you do that? Because it's like so many things that maybe don't actually go with like on that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally understand. And this relates back to don't be afraid to just pivot and try new things. For
Yeah.
me, I'm following, I'm enjoying the pursuit of what I'm doing. So if that's art, I'm loving creating. I'm loving,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just that's one of my ways that I get on center, get into flow. And I'm a very creative human by nature. So that's one of the things I'll always just show because it excites me and I love it. I love sharing what I love, just like food. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I post what I create.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to just like I said, we're all our own personality brand. So I'm not afraid to just create
Mm-hmm.
and keep on track what I'm doing. But it's all following that same mission. My
Yeah.
mission is to empower others to be happy.
Yeah.
So everything that I'm doing, if it's making me happy, it might be making someone else happy too. So it's all kind
Mm-hmm.
of just following the mission. And the art, I'm grateful that it is in galleries and it is in different purchase books that they catalogs that people can look at. But that's kind of like manifestation. Like I'm so in love and just doing everything that pays me and doesn't pay me, that it's all aligning to the same goal, and it's creating that beautiful synergy
Mm-hmm.
of business pleasure. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think it's just I can see that you have so much clarity with that mission. But how do you do it? Like how do you find your mission?
So the mission I didn't necessarily discover. I didn't become clear on my mission until
Okay.
a couple of years ago. I'm 26 right now, and I didn't necessarily have that clarity of my mission, and maybe until I was like 21 or 22. And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to not be totally clear on your mission. Just allow yourself to, and like I said, enjoy the process. Allow yourself to dive deep within yourself. And not everyone needs to have the mission of I want to save the world. I want to change the world. There's so many pieces to the puzzle. Like we don't all like it's okay. Your mission can be I just want to go travel the world. Like that is my
Mm-hmm.
mission, and that's so okay. So don't feel like you need to have the pressure of I'm going to impact the lives of millions of people because that might not be your sole mission. Like just do what you love, and as you do what you love, you will create your mission.
Yeah, I
That's
love
it.
that. Create your mission. Exactly.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm actually so grateful for everything you said because I think we're totally on the same vibe. And to go like into the business part, but from a female perspective, because a reason why I started Elevate Her here in Romania is that I've been going through like events on business events since I was in 10th grade, and I was just mm, me and that's it, only boys around me and all that stuff, and it was very
Yeah.
intimidating at first. And I think that it's very difficult when you are the only one in like a community. And actually, I saw you in an Instagram post when you were a speaker, like the only female speaker at an
Yeah.
event, and I thought that was so empowering, because all those guys were looking at you like you are so strong and so powerful.
Thank
How
you.
how do you think your skills as a female entrepreneur helped you? Because
So
I really think females have like some soft skills more than like the boys, or maybe I'm wrong, but I want to see your perspective.
yeah, so I also study the female and male energy. Someone who I look up to in that space is Jake Woodard. You guys can find him on Instagram, but he talks all about understanding the female and male energy, and we all have that energy inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
So understand some of us fall like whatever gender we are, some of us fall can play more in the male side more than others in the female side, and it's kind of just knowing when to bring that out. Like a female, right, we're like a flowing river, we're very creative and joyful and whatever that it might be, and our male energy might be more you know go, 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 whatever that is. And so when I'm speaking on stage with all these males, I'm able to kind of play off their energy as well and just hone in kind of like who I am naturally, which I am more on the female side. I'm very like, I'm a little
Mm-hmm.
more girly, but I definitely have that assertiveness, which is kind of how I've been able to get to where I am. I've been working in a male dominated industry for a lot of time ever since I've entered my professional career. My first job at a college, I was the only one of the only females. I think there was two other females, and there was like 12 guys. And just being around that male energy all day, it's just you kind of have to remind yourself. Like you go home and you're like, wow, that was a lot of guy like testosterone, and you kind of you as energy, as we talked about the quantum world, you'll start kind of vibing with that as well. So just
Mm-hmm.
kind of playing into it and understanding how those two energies can fuel you and moving with that, because it's we all have the power within us no matter what energy you are, more on female or male, but it's just finding that within you and playing into it, really really enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. On that, I can already say that I'm more like in on the male energy because I'm like so go go go, and I'm actually intimidating people a lot of times, and I actually had difficulties finding partners, and like
Yeah.
all my ex were like intimidated by me in some way. How do you deal with that? Because when you're like a strong person that is like doing and going after their dreams and doing everything it takes, it makes people feel uncomfortable, and i
Yeah.
i felt uncomfortable, and I wanted to like dim just my light and stay there and
Wow.
don't. And I
Yeah.
think so many
Wow.
females feel that way.
Yeah. I I understand that. So I think when I was working in the more male dominated kind of career, I started also having more of like a male energy, and I'm naturally like a cutesy, whatever, joyful person, but being around so many males, I think got me more into a male like dominated mindset. And
Mm-hmm.
think about the yin and yang. They're both equal counterparts. So it's like when you are one way, you might attract the other. So like even in a past relationship I was in, the other person was super male, and I was kind of like more male energy, and that wasn't good for like a romantic relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
about finding that balance because we all have it within us. So I
And
think
how
that it's
how do you
just
find the balance? Like how do you really
yeah,
find the balance? Because I'm actually struggling with that. Because this is who I am. I'm
that's
just
great.
going after my dream since I was born.
That's amazing. Don't change who you are. I mean, if you do want to play into more of the female type of energy, I'll definitely after this I'm going to share with you his Jake Woodard's Instagram too, because he kind of talks about that. But he talks about just allowing yourself to practice something creative because females tend to be a little bit more creative. The female energy tends to be a little bit more creative, and then it's like that flow of the river, and then that male energy comes along and helps direct the river. Um, so for you, I would say keep like if that's who you are, don't change who you are. That's so beautiful, and you'll keep attracting the right types of people and the experiences to fulfill what that is. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say even change it, like embrace it because that's so
Okay.
beautiful. Like that's amazing. But if you do want to explore more of the other side as well, I would say start practicing things that can bring that female energy out of you because you're naturally a female, so you will have those innate qualities in you without even trying. Like
Mm-hmm.
even practice just journaling. Journaling is a creative outlet if that's something you vibe with,
Yeah, I
or
do that every day. Yeah.
well, there you go. I mean, and I don't think we're right now in a time where it's really important to stay focused and stay driven and keep following our pursuit and everything else. So, I love what you're doing. I think that's amazing. Like, I want some of that energy.
Maybe we will. I mean, I'm sure we will meet one day, and I'll
Yes,
come when you're gonna launch your book. I will be there.
oh, that's so awesome. And I'll do a tour, and I'll come to Romania.
So cool. Love that. Yeah, I
Awesome.
actually wanted to touch on that point, like more girls talk, on boys and stuff, because for me here it was like the most difficult part. It's not difficult to just take action and inspire people and build business, but it's actually difficult to find partners that can just blend with my energy, because I
Yeah,
have such a high energy that it intimidates people, and it's
that's
just who I
awesome.
am.
That's awesome. I love that. And you know, you mentioned that since you were a sophomore, you've been going to business events. And I actually met a past relationship of mine that was at a business event. So when you're doing activities that are things that you enjoy doing, you'll have a higher chance of meeting somebody in the romantic world that, although you are there for business, but the best relationships can sometimes come from friendship too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just having that open mindset. And I'll also bring it back and say, being a female in the what kind of is a lot of male dominated business events, for me at least, what I've noticed, you might get that kind of person that tries to, come at you with like a romantic drive, and it's just those people you don't really pay much attention to. There's a lot of
Yeah.
those people. Just kind of ignore it. You can be kind, but you can
Yeah.
ignore it. So I would say, you know, when entering that realm, go with the open mindset and just enjoy creating connections, because you never know where those connections are going to go in any sense, whether that's romantic,
Mm-hmm.
business, or whatever it is. But just enjoy the process of it, because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've definitely, I would say I've met, my a past significant other at a business event, and then I've sort of vibe, and you'll attract like energy. You totally will. Like anyone that's going to these events, how you show up is what you will attract.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing
That's
that
true.
when you show up, yeah, when you show up as like your best self and your truest self, you're gonna attract someone who totally vibes with that. And it doesn't need to be rushed. And like I'm 26, and all my friends in Michigan, they're all starting to settle down and have kids, and that was like a couple years ago. And I'm just like, that is not me at the moment. I'm totally enjoying the pursuit of my potential. I'm
Mm-hmm.
totally enjoying where I am right now. Everything happens in the right way at the perfect time. You can
Mm-hmm.
understand that everything happens in the right way at the perfect time, and you are grateful for the present moment. All shall happen as it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's so true. I just love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's like my mission right now is like to empower more girls to be not actually in the business world, but to mix the confidence and to have the confidence to get into business, because this is maybe the thing that lacks in most of them, the confidence that they can do anything they want.
Yeah.
How to approach that feeling?
Just know you have the power within you. I mean, that's easier said than done. I hate that. I mean, some people might look at that and be like, come on, really? Like, it's true. It's so true. Like, it starts with creating it. So if you don't have it, the only person that's going to create that confidence is you. So if you can
Mm-hmm.
find a will, you will find a way. Literally. If you are so determined to create that confidence in yourself, you will do it. If you need to, what is inspiring you? What is your why?
Mm-hmm.
What is going to bring you that joy, that happiness? Like you have to create that joy, that happiness inside of you. Same way you have to create the
Mm-hmm.
confidence. And by
Yeah.
doing simple things like reminding yourself what you're grateful for, and by reminding, yourself what's good in your life right now, by reminding yourself, even changing the like I mentioned earlier, all of our words have data in them. And our data creates a chemical charge in the body and sends messages to our brain, to our subconscious, and our subconscious controls our conscious, and our conscious is how we view the world and how we operate. So by even the simple thing, and this is something I love doing. You might have heard me say earlier, but even replacing the word have with get is such a
Mm-hmm.
big difference. Like it sends a different message. So when you say, I have to do laundry, what does that sound like, ew, you have to do laundry?
Yeah, yeah,
What about I get to do laundry?
yeah, yeah.
Like
That's a
it's a
totally different perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. So even with yourself, changing simple words like I am confident. Like say that because you are in that moment. You are confident. Like
Mm-hmm.
remind yourself, I get to create confidence. It's just the
Yeah.
time it takes for me to catch up to that person. And another way too is, this is kind of might be a weird exercise. Close your eyes and remind yourself, be like, who is that person that, yeah, who is the person? Let's close our eyes. So, who is the person that has to be what I want to become? Like, who is that person? Like moving down, like who is that person? What do they emanate? Okay, let's
Yeah.
pretend. Let's just pretend like we are that person. So we're closing our eyes. We're pretending like we're that person. And as silly as that might be, you get to open your eyes and like I even from doing that feel like a little joy, like a little butterfly inside of me. Like
Yeah.
I
It's
just
like you
want to
can do
imagine.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like imagine yourself like you have all this confidence. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
pretend like you're this person with all this confidence. Okay, now open
Yeah.
your eyes and you are that person and move on with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. It's like such a powerful manifesting and intentional living exercise. I think
Yes.
it's so cool. Love that.
Yeah,
Love that.
it's fun. You can do that in so many
Yeah.
ways. And then it will inspire you. It will inspire you to keep going.
So amazing. I was actually like we are both into empowering people and just making others live their best life. But what can we do on a global scale to empower more women and girls to become leaders and then role models? What
Yeah,
can we do?
yeah. Set an example. Best, easiest way. Set an example. There's free tools out there that we can do to inspire people if that's something that you want to pursue, which is
Mm-hmm.
social media, especially right now. So if you genuinely want to impact other people's lives, just go first, you know, realize you have that power within yourself and then go on social media or any other outlet that you have and start sending out your message, start spreading your message. And I've
Mm-hmm.
actually even done something before too with my account because I made my account into a creator account so I can post, like run ads. And when this whole like Corona thing, COVID thing was starting to go down, I I didn't care about followers or anything like that. I literally just wanted to spread love. So I put
Mm-hmm.
a story and I said, "You are light, you are love, you are abundance." And I ran an ad for that just so people
Okay.
could see that when you read something, like I said, words are really powerful. They would see you are light, you are love, you are abundance. Like it can be as simple as like putting $5 even towards an Instagram, you know, page, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a ton of free ways to start that, and also doing what you're doing. Like have fun, do some podcasts, have some great conversations. I'm loving this conversation. This is great.
Yeah,
You
loving
know,
that too.
yeah, like just connect with people and just share your message. And another way too is ask how you can help someone because you never know
Mm-hmm.
what someone is going through. You never know how you can provide value to someone. So just ask, hey, how can I be of service? How can I help you? What are you going through? And then just
Yeah.
see what happens. And even just by asking that, like people they'll feel love. That's because that is love, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. That's so true because it's like what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, just messaging people. How are you feeling? How can I help? Is everything okay? Are you dealing with
Yeah.
anxiety or depression? And I'm just here for you. And
Yeah.
people
I love
are
your message. Like you're beautiful. Like your messages, how you emanate, like you're just a radiating, amazing soul. And it's been a pleasure. Like this is awesome.
so thank you. It's like I think we are so alike. It's just you're also radiating that so positive energy and just giving love to everyone.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, love that. So I think we're just kind of talked about everything I wanted to talk, and I actually feel like I was out with my best friend in some way, and we just talk
Yes.
about everything.
Oh my God. I love it. Yeah, we need to have more conversations from California to Romania. We are definitely gonna be connecting much more.
Yeah, yeah. That's so true. So thank you so much, Jacqlyn, for giving us your tips and inspiring all the listeners to just go after their dreams and start implementing more manifestation into their life. Yeah, I think that is like everything that we're just concluded, and I'm so grateful for you having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much. And we should keep in touch.
Oh, we for sure are going to be keeping in touch. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Love you. So just have the most amazing day ahead. I'm going to sleep like in 2 hours. But yeah, just
We'll have a beautiful night.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
just
you as
remember
well.
we all get to create whatever we desire. So once we're inspired, everything else, and when we're on center, just we're moving towards the trajectory of which we do want. So just be grateful for the present moment because you know you can change it. You know you can keep growing. You have the power within, and it's a beautiful thing.
I love it. I'm so inspired right now. I don't think I'm gonna sleep.
Amazing. Well,
Love it.
have a beautiful evening, and we will definitely catch up soon.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. Bye.
All right. Bye for now. See ya. Mwah. Bye.